We have a shared passion, although we didn't know it yet together. You talk about your Houston story. We have a shared passion for cigars, and most of us in this industry know that passion is shared pretty widely around many of us in the MSP space. And you've put together something really cool to help me remember what smokes I liked and not forget them down the road. Why don't you share a little
Yeah.
bit about that?
Yeah, so I do love a great cigar, and Adam, our CEO at Threat Captain, and I spend most probably 2 or 3 afternoons a week in a cigar lounge with our meetings. And so I've got a lot of friends who are getting into the cigar world, and I wanted to help people understand like how they could really track their cigars, and because most of my friends have just notes in their phones of ones they like and ones they don't like. And so now that Lovable is a platform and Claude AI and Claude Code is a thing, I decided to build an app. And so I've built an app called Ashtag, and it is currently being reviewed by the Apple App Store. It is very similar to Untapped, the beer app, where you can rate your beer and send it to a friend, but this one is cigars, and I've built a database. There's over 6,000 cigars in the database. You can take a picture of your cigar, you can rate it and keep it. If you like it, you can favorite it and put it in your humidor. And that way, next time you go to a cigar lounge, you can just pull up your app, see which cigars you've liked, see what you've rated it, and if they have it, you can grab it without having to ask a million questions or try something you don't like.
And it's huge because, I think the biggest thing that happens with that is I'll smoke something this year and I'll think it's great. Then awful. And I'll note it, but I won't go back to my notes. And then 3 years later, I'm like, oh, let me try this one again. And I've just picked another dog, right? That's one of the things that I find for archiving it. But to that end, too, sometimes you get small batch cigars that are only run periods of time. You find some things that are only offered in certain regions because they're not so much for
Hmm.
the local build, but because they're small batch, they can't be spread out nationally. So it's not uncommon, when I'm down in Florida, I'm finding a different set of cigars beyond the standards that I can't find up in the Northeast. And this is a great way to track those things. And, in my notes, there'll be a location too. So I remember, oh, I'm down in Dallas, Texas. I found this cigar here and I know I can't get it back at home.
Yeah, and I found like once you kind of build up their humidor section, if you go to a cigar lounge and you say, "Hey, these are the ones I like. What do you have that I would like?" And if you want to try something new, they could help you out. And that way you don't have like you've got it right there.
Yeah, and that's huge because that's like the number one question. Well, what do you smoke? What do you like?
You're like,
But if
I
you only
can't
give them two or
remember.
three options, you still can end up in an off spot because they're similar, but they're not.
Right, exactly.